Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of our medieval Total War Turkish campaign where we are auto-managing everything. And we are about to launch an attack into Moldavia. We're going to take out these rebels here and try to establish a bit of a foothold in this province. Now, we're not currently at war with the Poles, but that may change very quickly. However, I'd like to get up here so I can influence events in the northern steppe. I'd like to be able to jump in and maybe intervene to work against the Russians if an opportunity presents itself there, right? To sort of maybe seize territory to prevent them from expanding into the west and going nuts on glorious achievement points, because they are quite a bit ahead in that regard. So that's going to be the main event for this season, to see how the Moldavia attack goes, see if anyone else is going to join us in that. And it looks like not. So we have that all to ourselves. We're also holding on into Greece. We've got the Sultan there with a lot of troops to hopefully deter any seaborne invasion. And yeah, our force up here in Moldavia looks pretty good, although I do have some camels, which I'm going to have to remember to maybe shift back south, because they're not going to be super useful here. Of course, we're auto-resolving this because this is the kind of campaign we're playing, where only the Sultan is fighting battles personally. And we get Moldavia. Now, we unfortunately didn't get everybody there. We maybe could have wiped out that entire force and ensured that we conquered it outright if we were commanding ourselves. But here we've lost a ship in the Adriatic, which is just the worst. Just absolutely hate having to deal with these constant naval defeats. And so we're going to do something about that. Part of the reason to have the Sultan in Greece is so that he can oversee the development of another shipyard here and start cranking out some more boats from places other than just Constantinople. So let's go ahead and just enslave the ringleaders of Moldavia. And we're getting some good stuff. Oh, this could be very good for us. The Swiss reappear. And they reappear in Swabia. Only one province is being attacked. But I'm not sure if this necessarily tells the whole story, because it also says a number of other rebellions in progress have declared allegiance to his faction. So it could be that there's a province which is just simply declared itself for the Swiss, and there's no attack forthcoming because they have switched over to that side. And then maybe in another province there is an actual attack that's going to have to be resolved. So we'll see how long they last. Okay, the English want an alliance with us. You know, yes, why not? Okay, Prince Aybek is very loyal. It's very handy. Selim Ghazi is charitable, and we've got a deep thinker. Oh, that's great. What a wonderful general here. I swear, I've never had generals this good just kicking around. Look at all this stuff. We've got like a 6-star here. We've got like an 8-star here. It's ridiculous, and I've been auto-resolving all of these battles, which probably says something about my competency as a commander. Well, probably, though, it has more to do with the fact that when you auto-resolve, like, I'm fighting more battles per gameplay hour, let's say, than I would normally, because I would normally fight all these personally, and that takes a lot more time. So I'm going faster through the campaign, so maybe that's it. But also, who knows? It could be a little column A, little column B. All right, taxation is high, and we do have a spy here, so he's causing a bit of unrest. There's no one, I think, who's too worthy of assassination. We do have some assassins, right? Like, but I like that we're getting his rank up in Constantinople and his in Greece. So we'll probably just leave him there. I don't think we need to go out and get a ton of stars on our assassins that way. But we are training a couple of alims, so this is very interesting. Again, because I'm having the auto train option. That means I'm not deciding what I can train unless the Sultan is actually in that province. So we're getting some alims, which is great news, actually. We can use them to destabilize provinces like Croatia. Serbia is, you know, is okay. The fact that we have a ton of troops here is what's keeping the loyalty high. But it's about 50-50 in terms of Islam versus everything else. Over here, we could definitely use one or two of those alims. So let's bring one over there, and you know what? Let's use one to just go to Swabia and see if we have some diplomatic options we can make with the Swiss. Okay, we've got another in Tuscany. We've got an emissary in Constantinople, which is good. I want to leave him there. And we've got a couple of agents, 2 emissaries in Rum. Okay, I want you guys to move out because I think what we can do is try some bribery. So yeah, let's just both of you move over here. We'll go over to Constantinople, and I think we'll do that up here too. We'll see if there's any rebels like up around here or any likely. Yeah, we'll see who's in Prussia. This is very nice though, because having Moldavia, even though we can't see what's in these provinces, shows us that the Russians have Volhynia, but the Polish have Kiev. So this, in other words, if we can quickly capture Moldavia, right? Because I do want to get that siege settled. We could get Kiev. Ooh, but they're gonna have a rebellion soon. All right, as soon as we get this, I hope that my my peeps are gonna build a watchtower so I can see what they got over in Kiev for defenses. Maybe though, you know what? Let's just send the emissary. We've got a bunch, and down here is the other thing we're gonna do, because we've got, I think, all the troops we need pretty much in position here now, minus these you know, Armenian heavy cav. Of course, we're always training stuff. Our generals are always just trading some, you know, peasants or who knows what. But yeah, I think that's good in terms of what we want to move down. Otherwise, not a lot of troop training happening just now, which is okay. That's okay. And no sign of a fort here in Armenia yet. I would love there to be one. Hopefully soon there will be. But we did finish our ship in Constantinople. Okay, all right, that's good. So, do we want to train anything specific here? I mean, our income's not fantastic. I think the Saracen infantry is quite a good unit, and we could probably use more of this type of thing, because we get lots of archers, it seems, and lots of light stuff. Yeah, let's go with some crossbows, actually, just because we're gonna potentially need the armor piercing at some point here. So here, I think we can just go and eliminate the Egyptians, right? That's the big goal here. Everybody moving in leaves Sinai very unhappy, as I expected. Okay, so since we've got peasants there, we can do a peasant chain. All right, that's a little better. We may also have some, yes, we got some peasants there. That's yellow. All right, that means it's 89, so there is an 11% chance of rebellion. Well, I think I want to bring basically all of the good stuff. Maybe we can get rid of some of these basic archers, though. And one more. I think that'll be fine. Certainly should be sufficient to bottle them up and then maybe get the siege going. We have technically a trebuchet, so, you know, we could assault and maybe that would help us. Of course, this will be all auto-resolved. The big concern here is that when we get Egypt, we will be sharing a border with the Spanish directly. And they're not at war with us, but, you know, they will be. It's just a matter of them declaring another crusade. So we're going to resolve that siege in Moldavia, and yeah, it doesn't look like we're really training anything else. This is rather awkward because we've got the fact that Hungary can attack us in Bulgaria, so I don't want to leave this totally empty. But let's see, we've got some ships down here. Do we want to try this again? You're a 3-star Bagala, right? You should be good. Let's get another one down to the Dodecanese Sea. You've got no command, but that might be better than nothing. And I think, actually, we don't need you here anymore because I don't see any more Egyptian fleets. So let's bring both of you up here. Let's try to see what Rhodes looks like, see what the Byzantine fleet looks like. Actually, maybe I'll leave you here just to deter, right? Any other Greece invasion? Let's end the year. Okay, attack into Prussia from the Russians means that must be rebel or Polish held. All right, so yes, save, and we're going to auto-calc this. Of course, We lost 31 men, sounds about right, and pillaged 300 florins, and the fort there is no more. So this is the big one. You know, this is the last gasp of the Egyptians. I don't think they have any islands. I could be wrong, but we outnumber them quite handily, and I don't think they have too much. They've got, you know, a couple of Gulam units, but yeah. Yep, lost 102 men, and we've conquered Egypt. No ransom taken. Let's again enslave the ringleaders there. I think that if you choose the other options there, it moves your Sultan more towards Dread or away from Dread. Oh, we've got the Magnificent Builder on our Sultan. So maybe I should take a look at his stats there to see, would it be better to work up Dread? Probably. So we should probably be executing everybody, because he's keeping everyone happy anyway through his magnificent building. Okay, so what are we doing here? Okay, the Alims. I think I was gonna send you. Yeah, now that I've taken you off of your orders, I think you were going to Swabia. One of you was anyway, and Prussia. Okay, very high. Oh, they're fighting the Germans. All right, let's take a closer look. Poland and Germany are at war with the Russians, or vice versa. So that means we could theoretically expect to see Russian expansion into, you know, the central part of Europe here, if we allow this to continue. Now, obviously, I don't want that, but I'd like to keep the Polish around on some level as a bit of a check on Russian expansion, right? I don't necessarily want to take this just now. I mean, if I do, I would have a very nice 3-province border, and the Russians would still have a channel to attack, you know, their enemies, because presumably Germany owns Pomerania as well. So maybe it is time to just end Hungary and then move up and take Poland. Yeah, much as I usually prefer to leave factions alive, I think this is probably the thing that we want to do. Just checking loyalty on my guys here. And I'm going to take like 4 of you and move you into Bulgaria just to serve as some sort of garrison. I can move you. Just see, we could actually... It's a little tricky, because if I attack into Hungary with these forces, I leave myself open to attack from Germany. That said, I do have my Sultan here, but we're going to wait until the ships get a little more built up. Let's go with another crossbow, and then we're going to work maybe on those Ottoman infantry, I guess. And what do we have here? Okay, naphtha spears. Let's bring them up this way, and... Let's see, I think this army here could basically just take Carpathia by itself. Well, it does look a little light now, doesn't it? There's only 233 men, but they've only got a little bit as well. See, how does that look in terms of happiness? Okay, that's fine, actually. Move you up here. Yeah, I think it's time to move. I think it's time to move, because this will put us in position to challenge Germany. I mean, I think we're going to beat them in points anyway, but this does leave us in a nicer defensive position. And if we end up going to war with Russia, well, then the steppes are our oyster, and we can hold along this line of 3 or 4 provinces. And we can grab Croatia too, if we decide we want to go that route. I kind of like leaving Germany down here, though, as a kind of a weak buffer between us and Italy. So maybe we'll retain that little salient for them, just to give them something to worry about. But for you, let's move you up to Hungary. And you're going to have to remain there. Geez, anything else? I think we can move, like, the crossbows up. And maybe we want, like, our good general leading this army, because this is not fantastic. He is an unhinged loon, and he is eager to retreat. So there's big morale debuffs to his men, but I think that's just countered by his great command. So he may have to retreat again because I'm not feeling like I necessarily want to commit too hard to this. I want to win this one. And in Moldavia, I'm going to stay put because I want to seize opportunities as they arise there. Okay, so we're going to maybe start also feeding some more troops northeast up towards Moldavia. And here in Cairo, the Egyptians are going to hold out for about 4 years. Okay. It would be costly to assault, but I think that's what we want to do. 4 years is a long time, and we want to start getting the money from this because, again, our income is really not good. We're down into the hundreds. But we can move you over. And in Sinai, fantastic. They're building farming upgrades in a province that makes an income of 40. So that's going to be 48. Just wonderful. All right. Armenia's not constructing anything. I'd love them to get on those defensive buildings. Let's see what the Crimea has. And let's send you up to, like, Lithuania, I guess. We'll just get them moving. All right, so 2 attacks. 1 into Carpathia, 1 into Hungary. Both relatively small, but I think both capable of doing decent work. Let's start to bring these troops up, and we'll have some guys to support. Because in the event that we are victorious here, we're going to all of a sudden need to defend fairly quickly. So let's end the year. Okay, yeah. So the Russian attack into Kiev, unfortunately, we weren't able to get there in time. I was trying to think of how I was going to play that, though, because if we moved troops into Kiev, we're going to be weakening Moldavia. Poland would hit us. Okay, so they're going to stay and fight. Oh, and we have no idea what they have. All right, well, let's do it. Oh, victory. Good. We outnumbered them, but I didn't know what they had. It could have been a ton of, heavy prince bodyguard cavalry. We lost 83 men. That is quite a fair amount, but they're under siege in the castle currently, and we're doing great. Where did all of their troops go? I swore they had a lot more men in their forces in Hungary. So we should have no problem with this one. Emir al-Muntasir is going to have the victory here with only 76 losses to his name, and we are assaulting the castle in Egypt where Sultan Muhammad I is holed up. I think he's survived 1 or 2 civil wars at our hands, but I think this is the end of the road for him. Yes, indeed. We lost 517 men. So that's fantastic. What this means is that the game, I think, is somehow modeling a siege assault. If you're not aware, when you auto-resolve in, like, Rome Total War, it doesn't take anything like the fortifications of the castle into consideration. So I think it treats the game essentially as, it's just comparing the numbers of the troops involved to the numbers of the other troops involved, and it's not thinking, well, okay, they're going to get towers and stuff and so on. I mean, maybe this 517 losses on our part is due just to the fact that he had a strong bodyguard unit, but I don't think so. I think that's the fact that this is a citadel, and I think the game's modeling it, which is great. All right, 1975, and unfortunately, I think we're going to have to say goodbye to this citadel. It's probably going to be a castle when we go and look. Ah, good. Victory for a change in the Ionian Sea, and defeat as usual in the Mertun Sea. But we did win against the Byzantines off roads. Okay, ransom refused. Oh, that's the king of Hungary. So I knew that the Egyptians were going to be gone. I wasn't sure if the Hungarians were going to be eliminated yet. But yep, that's the Egyptian Sultan. And the Hungarians, I guess they do have a prince somewhere, actually. Wow, okay. Okay, the French won an alliance. You know what? Yes. Yes, indeed. Oh, no. I did not notice that they were allied with the Hungarians. All right. So now we are not allied with the Russians. And as we've seen, they've been doing fairly well. They're quite strong. I wonder if I could come in as the savior of the Poles here. if I get down to, if they have a king anywhere, and he's not holed up in Kiev, if I get down there with like an emissary or somebody, get an alliance and then rescue them, and then start taking the fight into Russia, that might be fun. Okay, we've lost the alliance with the English, but otherwise, fantastic. Okay, I have not seen this trait for quite some time. Amir al-Mansur is an outlaw. He abuses his position to rob and cheat honest traders and merchants, taking goods and money with menaces? With menaces. Yes, I just never hear menace like as a noun, or especially as a plural noun. He has so far managed to hide his involvement in this thievery. So we're getting to the point where I don't know if it has to do with empire size or just the year or just utter randomness, but we're starting to get some bad income traits. Usually that's a sign that you're doing well and the game is punishing you. Okay, so in Prussia and in Livonia, we're looking at very good loyalty here. I was hoping that the Russians were going to struggle to hold on to these. These are traditionally fairly rebellious provinces. Well, Lithuania, for sure. So we'll see what that looks like. And I'm also curious about Pomerania because I don't see any Polish royalty there or here. So they must own at least one other settlement. Oh, and there's a big civil war. Wow. In Germany. Okay. I guess that's good. This is headed for Constantinople with 329 men. And we already outnumber them here. So good luck with that. They're probably just going to get out of Austria next turn and hit us in Hungary. Yep, and here's the Hungarian king, age 18. He's just barely old enough to be king, but we're gonna get him. Let's take a look at our income, though. Yeah, look at that, 1854. So much better. Now that's not due to Hungary because we're not getting any money from these provinces while the sieges are active. But that's Egypt. I'm quite sure. This has 80% farming. Oh my gosh, yeah, 546. Okay, so it's not only Egypt, but geez, I guess it's just some other stuff. Some other factors here are helping us quite a bit in terms of the economy. Okay, so the next move then, I think, is to sit tight in Egypt. We're going to wait here. Just going to check loyalty real quick. We've got some very solid governor materials here. And hope that we start building some stuff to get trade going, because this can be a very lucrative place once we get a trade route. Okay, so the Byzantines, good thing about this is that they have almost nobody left. This is probably like their king. Let's go right over to the Mertun Sea here. We've got a couple of 3-star Bagalas, and one more year we'll have the shipwright, and the king can start requesting ships. And then probably what I should have done, I just thought we were going to automatically start training boats like we always do. But what we should have done is moved the king over last year so we could queue up a boat this year and then move him back and forth. We'll do that, though. We'll try to keep that in mind. So the question is, do we want to resolve these sieges? Or do we want to sort of wait and let them play out? Oh my gosh, why are we doing this? Why? Get a fort, you idiots. I mean, this costs 1,000 just to upgrade 40%. And it takes 4 years. Well, since we can't see where the poles are, if they had an emissary here, we do. Okay, so there's one right there. That is an Alim, though. But let's get this emissary, right? Well, actually, no. We'll take you, because you're there already, and we'll get you here. Do should propose an alliance. And is this going to tell us where he is? He's in Silesia. Okay. Oh, that's right. They do start with this, and they've held it. Good for them. Okay, so the Poles are in Silesia. They may have a couple of other provinces, but I think it unlikely because the Germans were in Prussia, right? So they probably moved along here. As we can see, the English are invading Germany, which is a little alarming. But we'll see if we can get an alliance with the Poles, and maybe next year or two we can get back, into the swing of things. Okay, we've got to just check to make sure that we're not training stuff that I'm leaving idle in castles, but it seems not. We've basically stalled out in terms of our training, unfortunately, at least in those regions, and we've switched over to. Well, actually, I think maybe it's that our economy was too bad, and the game decided that we weren't in a good enough position, really. All right, let's bring you up here. We'll leave you guys, you know, maybe a few of you behind as a garrison. We'll bring you up to Moldavia so we can be in a stronger position to strike out up here. And, yeah, we'll continue, I think, now to train like a couple of good spears, you know, archers, that type of thing. All right, let's see what the next year is going to bring. Okay, the Poles are not done yet. They're experiencing a civil war, but they are bringing reinforcements in. All right, siege in Hungary. Oh, okay, yeah, I should have probably resolved that. That's the thing. Your empire gets big, and it's difficult to track everything you're doing. Okay, we built a port in Anatolia for some reason. I don't think there's any trade goods here. I mean, maybe that will become a ship training place. We've gotten some bad traits now. Dead drunk. Dead drunk. Okay, so here we go. This is Selim Ghazi. This is the guy who's getting some drunk traits. And this is the end of all of those alcoholic line of traits. It culminates in dead drunk. He is mostly bedridden, but occasionally his retainers strap him to a horse and lead him out. His retainers are fairly competent now at making decisions for him. Minus 20 health. So this means he gets back all of his like command and acumen penalties that normally come with being like, you know, severe alcoholic and drunk and all that, because his retainers have figured out what to do. But if he is still in battle, he is extremely likely to be killed. So very interesting, entertaining trait. He could still be a great general and governor. Just keep him out of the thick of the fight. Very, very humorous stuff. Okay, so the crusade here is going to just weaken and sit. And so I think that's our cue to assault. Even though we are going to take some big losses, let's get that going. And here as well, we'll start getting cash for these provinces. Now, a nice thing too is Austria into Hungary is a river battle. So if we were in a position to have the Sultan up here to defend, you know, we could make some good use of that. Now, before the Russians dropped the alliance with us, my plan was that we could take out the Poles and have this nice 3-province border. Now that's no longer the case, but we can still maybe, if we get that alliance, maybe use the Polish to serve as a buffer on our north. So that could be useful. The other thing here is we do have a very nice rebel general. Unfortunately, these men are not part of his entourage. All right, where are you going? Maybe we can see how much you would cost. Oh, we have almost no money. Okay, fair enough. We're going to need to wait a little bit, because as soon as we get a little cash, all my feckless lords are just intent upon spending every last drop of it. Where are you going to be? I think we'll bring you down. You know what? I'm going to bring you down that way. So this is something you can do. You can just give them a marching order to some place on the end of your territory, and they will get there eventually, which is going to be really helpful for me because, as we've seen, it's tough to keep track of all this. There's peasants here, peasants there, peasants there. So I guess we could use a peasant... I don't know. We probably have a peasant already up in Trebizond and Anatolia, right? Yeah, let's just bring him. Let's bring him over towards Trebizond anyway. All right, so we are back to training. That is good. We'll get you over to Greece, and we're making a Constantinople with all that new money. We decided we need a siege cannon crew, which could be actually really good. I mean, this is a very cool unit, much better than the the bombard. And probably better than the demi cannon, but I don't have much experience with those. So now we're going to be resolving these 2 sieges in Hungary, probably eliminating the Hungarians. And we've still got to figure out the results of that alliance request with the Polish. And if we don't get there in time, they're just going to lose Kiev, and we won't be able to do too much with them. All right, yes, Carpathia Castle is being assaulted. We'll auto-calc this. We lost 57 men. Got 1,550 florins in pillage there. And Esztergom Castle. Okay, so, yeah, that's cool. I've heard of that place. So here we've got, again, the Hungarian king, 18 or 19 years old now, but dead. But we lost 220 men. 2,000 florins. Okay, yep, ransom refused. And the King of Hungary is now eliminated. We've got 3 heirs currently with the maturation of Prince Bayezid. Tripoli has a keep. Okay, great. Now, just so I'm sure, I think the next check-in for points is going to be 1,400, yes. So we've got 18 turns before that happens. And, you know, we've added a little bit to our conquest score here by taking Hungary and Carpathia. Although we will need to shore up the loyalty of the latter. Let's see. And we are somewhat vulnerable to the Poles. So where the heck is the king? Okay, here we go. He's been moving around. He's been invading rebel territories. Good for him. Okay, this is very interesting. Wow. All right, I guess we don't have to worry about the German crusade anymore. They're having... This is another civil war. Right? So they had a crusade here. I don't know where it went, but it may have just been killed off by the rebels. And now they're having an additional civil war. So, wow. But the Swiss, on the other hand, look terrifying. So if you've never faced these units on the battlefield, I have bad feelings about this. It's been a very long time since I've played late and since I've faced the Swiss armored pikemen. But I think these guys have a nasty reputation. So we will want to steer clear. Although it could be very interesting, actually, to face this unit as the Turks if we get some good Janissary stuff. Which hopefully we will, at some point here. All right, starting to get some, nice elite units. Bayezid looks fantastic. Natural leader, materialist. Wonderful. Put him in charge of this little mini stack. And, all right, let's go. Let's go for Dow's, and let's go for the dockyard. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and take you over to Constantinople. We will queue up some ships. I think that should be fine. Bayezid will be in charge if the place is attacked. Get some horse archers over to the west. And some spearmen. I guess they can stay here. Yeah, everything here looks fine. Spanish don't seem to be massing in Cyrenacia. This would be good territory for us to take, because I think we can train Saharan cavalry. Get a little valor bonus. And then, of course, get us that much closer. But let's wait a little bit. Oh, good. We're building ships here, too. Perfect. Okay, we don't have a port. We must have destroyed that in the siege. But yes, speaking of siege, now the question is what do we do here? I think Hungary's looking pretty safe. I don't think the Poles want to attack here or Carpathia. Hopefully we'll start building a fort in Moldavia so we can be a little more mobile with that army. But I think we want to wait for this dust of this battle to settle, and then we can move in on the next turn. So let's end the year. Just real quick here, see what we're looking at with regard to Serbia, and see if that Polish king will stand in place long enough for us to get an emissary to him. Okay, good. The Russians can't take Poland. Okay, alliance proposal rejected. All right, are we at war? We're probably at war with one of his allies. Yes, Germany. Okay, so he's profiting off the civil war that Germany is facing, which understandably so. But he's remaining allied with him, which is a very cool move. So I approve of that. Wenceslas the First. You got to do what you got to do. Unfortunately, we could have helped you out because we could have relieved the siege in Kiev like very easily here. But I think we'll have to wait for the next episode to figure out exactly how all this is going to shake out. I think what we will do is, yeah, let's move up to the Adriatic with this ship. We're going to get some more boats here to replace those. and down here, and up here. So we're going to build up our navy, and we will go ahead right now and move a force in. This is going to be Jakmak al-Alai. And his friends here under Emir al-Rashid, the Emir of Nicaea. And we'll see what Croatia looks like. We've got a spy there already, so it should be pretty easy for us to hold. And when we come back, we'll see how this all goes. I think it's going to be fine. Only 344 men. You know, we've got more than double that, and then we will be up against Venice and the Italians. We're not technically at war with them yet, but you know that could change in a heartbeat. Let's move our fleet over here actually, just to prevent that. But what we'll do is we'll now have this 1, 2. It's the same number of provinces to guard as long as we've got a strong enough fleet. We could take advantage of Austria, right? We could take advantage of if there's trouble in Venice, and we can continue just to amass our funds because we are making quite a bit. Train troops, send them where they're needed to go, and then sort of plan this sticky problem here, how we're going to address the northeast. Because again, I want to keep Poland around. I'm glad they're doing a little well now, because I think even if they do get feisty, we can counter them pretty easily. And we want to somehow you know, prevent the Russians from doing well without going to war with them just yet. So that will be something we'll have to think about for the next episode. Until then, take care.